I did a thing, a winter project with possible summer fun lined up for it. Let's take a look. It's a little go-kart thing. It looks like fun. 2 seats in there. It's got a display and dashboard. I don't know, it looks kind of cool. It's got sort of dual A-arm suspension on the front, not on the rear. Like a modified trailing arm thing. It looked very simple. It doesn't run, but I think we could make something out of it. I don't even know what it's called. The guy told me, but I've never heard of it before. I don't remember. They're very proud of the suspension though, because it's got advanced geometry suspension. I don't know if that means it's good or it's crappy, so let's call it something. And they go on about it over here too, so they're very proud about the suspension, which does not appear to have any give on it whatsoever. I do know that it's 150 cc's. Looks like it's got a CVT, same as a 4-wheeler side by side. And it's 2-wheel drive, which should be fine. I'm thinking it'll be a nice little go-kart to drive around on the racetrack, is what I'm thinking. I'm worried about it going up the long uphill. I don't know how that's gonna work, but it'd be fun to give this to someone and say, go do some lap times. I don't know, keep a list of who has the best lap time in this thing, which will be a lot on the driver, not so much, well, it'll be on the power. Going up that hill though, I don't know how that's gonna work, but it doesn't work. Let's take a look at what happens with it. The engine could be completely shot, I doubt it, but let's see what happens. Here's what we have. I know you have to hit the button, there's one in the back too. That's stop, that's run. Key on. It won't turn over. And it sounds like the sound is coming from in here. I just realized it has an odometer reading, 545, I'm assuming miles. I'm remembering the Kodiak video that I did a while back where it made that exact noise after it intermittently failed for a while. So I'm thinking, if it's anything, it was that Kodiak actually. If it's anything like that, it should be a starter clutch, a one-way bearing to try to grab onto that thing. That's what it sounds like. We're gonna find out. As per protocol, I put it on the lift so I could check everything else. Notice that that's a little bit loose, but it looks like a standard axle bearing like I have on a trailer. So I could just have a loose nut on that. The other side is a little bit loose. The front is nice and tight. Looks like a cute little CVT in there. Oh, a little baby one. That's cool. We have some electronics. There's a secondary shutdown right here. I don't know why you'd need that. Maybe if your kid's got a hold of it and you're desperately chasing after him. Stop, 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 stop. You can push that button. Maybe. I don't know. Speculating. The front looks fine. Oh! That one's missing a little thing, yeah. It's like a regular old nut on the end of it there. I did notice hydraulic brakes. That's cool. I thought they'd be mechanical, but they're not. It's actually a pretty neat looking rig, actually. We got some dry rot on the rubber. I noticed that on the steering. The boots for the steering is not good. Same with those right there, but everything is tight. All the linkages are tight. The rack is tight. Can't really find anything drastically wrong with it. Replace those at some point if we get that far. The bottom is in good shape, so I think it's time we start tearing into the engine. Now I'm going to assume it's like the 4-wheeler, and we're going to get to it through this side rather than the clutch side. So I'm gonna clear out this a little bit, start tearing into it. Got the first cover off. The engine seems to have compression and turns okay, so that's a good sign. I don't know what this is. I'm not really a carb expert, but that might, why aren't you focusing? Focus on it. That might affect its running a little bit. That is completely destroyed. I also found this is broken, which goes to the brakes. So it must have, I don't know if that's a parking brake or an e-brake or what's going on right there. Still has the hydraulic. So I'm guessing it's a parking brake. Might have to look into that later too. I don't know what happened here, but it looks like the brake rotor went up and touched this. Maybe it fell off once. Down to the rotor, and I can't get it off. Seems to be press fit. I did notice some threads here, so I don't know, maybe I can come up with something to get it off of there. Or wheel pull, maybe my smallest wheel puller. We've got quite a setup, couple of stock bolts through a wheel puller. I don't know if they're gonna be strong enough. Let's find out. Oh, we pulled the washer through. Not quite strong enough. Well, like I feared, that was a fail. Ended up just pulling these bolts right out of the holes. They just aren't strong enough for the job. I bet you they have a special rotor puller tool, is my guess. So I'm going to go research that and see if I can find out what kind of an engine this is. I found it. This is a GY6 150. And just turns out the starter clutch is a common failure on these things. So we're definitely on the right track. And you do have to go to it through the rotor. So, man nailed it. Even a broken clock is right twice a day though. I did order a puller for this. It was only $8, something like that. Amazon had them, so that's on the way. And I'm ordering a starter clutch kit, so we can replace that at the same time. Looks like you're gonna change the oil. I gotta research what kind of oil it takes. A filter. I see it's got an external filter and an oil cooler. It's a pretty neat thing. Someone here? It's the dog. So we'll pick that up when I have the puller. We're back. 5-wheel puller. Yep, not too much going on for that. Hopefully it fits. Such small thread on that size. Man, we're really gonna reef on this for that small of a thread. Better be the right size. Oh, it's reverse thread. There we go. I'm an idiot. You know, it's amazing what the right tool will do for you. I was really reaming on that. Through those threaded holes and it did not want to budge. You put this thing in there, and pops right off easy. On to the next step, which I think we're gonna pull the stator off. Oh, those are some long bolts. Well, it looks like the side of the crankcase is going to come off next, and that's probably going to leak oil. I'll set up my drain. There we go. Good call on the oil. I see gears. Okay, we're getting somewhere now. Interesting. Okay, I found a problem. Let me show you. Here's what we have. This gear goes up and touches the starter and this guy. But the post is missing. I think it's over in the cover. And this is our one-way bearing. See, I can spin it one way. Try to turn it this way, and it turns the whole motor. Which is interesting because it appears to be working. It is turning the engine when I turn it that way. I'm gonna get this post that that rides on, put it in there, hold it, turn the key, and see what happens when I can see it. Things might fall out, but it'll be worth it to see what it does. That cranked, didn't it? It's cranking now. Until it kicks that little bearing out, or the idler out. Huh. Now, what do you guys think? Replace this? Anyway? I think I'm gonna replace this anyway. It has to be the problem. It has to be. The starter was spinning before, but no one was home. It's gotta be this bearing. One-way bearing is not good. The kit I'm looking at comes with a special 4-post wrench to take this nut off. So I think I'm just going to order that whole thing and replace it. I mean, I'm already in here. Comes with a new gasket. I have to get a new gasket anyway. I think we're going to replace it. I have no idea why it's starting now. So we'll pick this up again when I have that part. Well, that's going to do it for us today. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate every viewer and every subscriber, especially you members. You guys are amazing, and we really appreciate the support. As long as you're here, leave us a thumbs up. Doesn't cost you anything, but really helps us out a lot. Hit me up in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. I reply to every comment I get. But in the meantime, thanks again for watching, and I hope I'll see you here for another video on 3-Day Weekend.